धन्यवाद मैडम प्रभु जी माता जी जय श्री राम। ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया अक्षरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम गौरतिशय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वर ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are continuing our discussion on chapter 10, elaborating the 64 angas of bhakti. We saw one anga yesterday, which is Shavana. And now this is the next anga or the next limb, expecting the Lord's mercy. This is a prayer by Brahmaji, Lord Brahma to Krishna. Very, very famous verse in Bhagavatam. Um, Srila Prabhupada actually so many times Prabhupada would quote this verse. Um, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, this verse is quoted. And there Prabhupada mentions this is the basis of a devotee in Krishna consciousness. This verse is the basis of one's understanding of a devotee. Um, my dear Lord, any person who is constantly awaiting your causeless mercy to be bestowed upon him and who goes on suffering the resultant actions of his past misdeeds, offering you respectful obeisances from the core of his heart, is surely eligible to become liberated, for it has become his rightful claim, which basically means the attitude of a devotee is whenever some hardships comes, a devotee, a devotee, he takes those hardships as the reaction of one's own past and amidst those hardships with his heart, with his mouth, like while with his mind, with his body, he pays full obeisances onto you. Um, Hedvag Vapur Vidadam Namaste. One who can remain favorable to you, surrender to you, offering obeisances to you, um, amidst all difficult circumstances, and undergoes whatever hardships as one's own past, for that person, liberation is the rightful claim. The prasadam will be offered. I served. I'll come after 1 hour. That person, for that person, liberation is a rightful claim. The example given is um, uh, the father, um, the child. The child doesn't have to do anything. Naturally, whatever belongs to the father will be passed on to the child. Likewise, um, Krishna's mercy will, like the child doesn't have to do anything. Likewise, anybody this, who follows this consciousness, or who remains himself always offering obeisances, always surrendered, always seeing the hand of the Lord, no matter what happens in life. For that person, Krishna's mercy and liberation is like his rightful claim, means he will get it. And then here one thing also, any person who is constantly awaiting your causeless mercy to be bestowed upon him, means um, even if um, one is going through difficult times, um, um, maybe in spiritual life, maybe in any angle, um, the devotee continues surrendering, hoping. Um, Causeless mercy means it doesn't have a cause, means, and the mood of a devotee is I don't um, um, I don't deserve the Lord's mercy, um, um, but the Lord may causelessly bestow His mercy upon me. So the devotee keeps serving the Lord. Um, Ups and downs will come in one's life. He keeps serving the Lord, even if he doesn't feel spiritual absorption. He keeps serving the Lord, even though decades may pass and so many difficulties may still come upon him or her. The devotee keeps serving the Lord, and he hopes that someday the Lord's mercy will descend. Someday the Lord's mercy will descend. And throughout life, or life after life, he favorably, in all circumstances, keeps serving, keeps serving, keeps serving, just hoping someday. And still he or she feels, although he is serving, he or she feels, I don't deserve Lord's mercy. And if the Lord bestow his mercy, that's like his causeless. A devotee feels like that devotee does not have any hope of making progress by one's own effort. Um, um, but it is only possible if the Lord bestow his causeless mercy, then only the devotee can um, understand or become absorbed in his devotional service. How to deal with impediments in the path of bhakti. This statement of Srimad Bhagavatam should be the guide of all devotees. Here Prabhupada says, a devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. This is very nice. A devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. For anything wrong we do, the reaction will be there. Um, um, a devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. Actually, every attachment, every hankering, longing, uh, desires, um, they are all the reaction of our past misdeeds. And that's why so many hankering and so many desires are there. Mm. A devotee does not um, expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. But a devotee is patient. He keeps on rendering service favorably, hoping the mercy will descend someday. And then he or she feels like whatever it is, I deserve it. It is because of my own past. Keeps on rendering devotional service, hoping someday. Does not expect immediate relief. No conditioned soul is free from such reactionary experiences. We all are going right now, so many reactions are upon us. So many reactions are upon us. We are not free yet. Um, 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 what happens when we become free from past reaction? We become free from duality, we become free from illusion. Dvanda moha nirmukta. And we can render devotional service with determination. But we are attracted to duality, we are attracted to moha, illusion, and we are not able to distinguish. All this is because of some past reaction. So no conditioned soul is free from these reactions. And one should not expect immediate relief when one takes up Krishna consciousness. but one should patiently keep worshipping the Lord in all circumstances, um, tolerating, tolerating whatever is coming in, whatever desires may be there, whatever it is there. Keep tolerating, keep serving the Lord, hoping one day causelessly mercy will be bestowed upon the devotee. No conditioned soul is free from such reactionary experiences because material existence means continued suffering or enjoying of past activities. If one has finished his material activities, then there is no more birth. This is possible only when one begins Krishna conscious activities because such activities do not produce reaction. Krishna conscious activities, no reaction, but other activities which are not Krishna conscious have a reaction. Um, Therefore, as soon as one becomes perfect in Krishna conscious activities, he is not going to take birth again in this material world. Perfect, one becomes perfect in Krishna conscious activities means one does everything keeping Krishna in the center. Everything keeping Krishna in the center. Then one becomes completely purified. No more reactions are created. Um, um, then one does not take birth again in this material world. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from the resultant actions should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously. If one is not free, one has, one has like, one is in duality, one is in moha illusion. If those things are there, which is, I mean, I can talk about myself fully there. If those things are there, if 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 a devotee who is not perfectly free from resultant action should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously, just keep continuing to serve Krishna seriously, even though there may be so many impediments. When such impediments arise, he should simply think of Krishna and expect his mercy. That is the only solace. If impediment arise, simply think of Krishna and hope Krishna's mercy will descend. Without Krishna's mercy, we cannot follow the process of Krishna consciousness. Without Krishna's mercy, there will be so many, like we cannot cross over the obstacles. We will give in to our obstacles. Only by Krishna's mercy. Just keep on. Whenever obstacle comes, think of Krishna, expect Krishna's mercy. With that, we get the strength to overcome the obstacles. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Seriously engage in Krishna conscious activities. If the devotee passes his days in that spirit, it is certain that he is going to be promoted to the abode of the Lord. And here Prabhupada is giving hope. If we continue, um, um, Prabhupada says it is certain that the devotee is going to be promoted to the abode of the Lord. Basically, expecting Krishna's mercy. Now, and the next is meditation. Um, to meditate means to engage the mind in thinking of the form of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, the activities of the Lord, and the service of the Lord. So meditation basically means mind should be fixed on Krishna. Um, Mind is remembering the name of Krishna, chanting the names of Krishna. Mind is remembering the form of Krishna. Mind is remembering the qualities of Krishna, like the beauty of Krishna, the flute of Krishna, the loving relationship Krishna has with his devotees, the merciful nature of Krishna, the greatness of Krishna. So these are all qualities of Krishna, or activities of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna, or service of Krishna. One is meditating on how to serve Krishna better. When one is thinking, when the mind is engaged in keeping Krishna in the center, that is meditation. Nasima Puran. Meditation focusing on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been accepted as transcendental and beyond the experience of material pain and pleasure. By such meditation, even one who is grossly miscreant can be delivered from the sinful reactions of his life. Means somebody who is very say, um, um, grossly miscreant or has done many wrong things, uh, um, he can be free from all reactions if one meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna. The meditation on lotus feet of Krishna is described as completely spiritual. Um, and one more thing I want to say, meditation is possible when it is accompanied by the holy name. If we try to remember the form of the Lord, we can remember for a few minutes and then it will go away. But if you chant, say if you chant for 1 hour, for 1 hour there is a possibility you can have the form of the Lord in your mind. But without the holy name, it will be very difficult. With the holy name, you can meditate on qualities of Krishna, you can meditate on pastimes of Krishna, you can meditate on name, which means just by the mind focused on listening the name. You can meditate on service to Krishna. Service to Krishna does not mean I have to do this, I have to do that. Service of Krishna here means one is personally rendering some service to Krishna, like maybe um, bathing the deity form of the Lord, or in any way service to Krishna. Um, in all these meditation, Krishna is in the center, and they are possible. They are possible in this age of Kali only through the medium of the name, and by any such meditation. Um, Even if one is a very bad person or has done many wrong things, all the reactions are wiped out. Persons who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness and who remember the transcendental qualities of the Lord become, this is from Vishnu Dharma, another book. Those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness and who remember the transcendental qualities of the Lord become free from all reactions to sinful activities. And after being so cleansed, they become fit to enter into the kingdom of God. Um, um, again, by remembering Krishna, by being engaged in Krishna consciousness, by remembering the qualities of Krishna, same, like these are two verses saying the same thing, that one become free from all sinful reactions and become fit to enter into kingdom of God. This from Padma Puran. A person who is always engaged in meditation on the sweet pastimes and wonderful activities of the Lord surely becomes free from all material contamination. Um, Material contamination is the effect of the three modes of material nature. One becomes free from that. One becomes completely spiritualized, completely transcendental. If one meditate on the sweet pastimes and the wonderful activities of the things offered by our devotees, even in meditation, are accepted by the Lord, and they help one achieve the desired result. And there is this one example. I don't know if I have the story in detail. Okay, I don't have. I mean, it's mentioned in the book, but in my own words, I will mention that there was this one Brahmana, and he wanted to serve Krishna, um, but he doesn't have anything to serve Krishna, like any wealth or any object, but he wanted to do some service to Krishna. Then he heard in a lecture that one can render service to Krishna even in one's mind. So this Brahmana, he would sit for many hours every day, and in the mind he would like have a stove, um, um, and bring some, pluck some vegetables from, or whatever, starting um, from the trees, come peel them, cook them, um, put them in a bhoga plate, take it in front of the Lord, offer them with love, meditate on the Lord is eating that and relishing it, um, um, then washing the Lord plate, performing arati to the Lord, um, um, putting the Lord to rest, washing the dishes in which things have been cooked, collecting all the ingredients, massaging the feet of the Lord, um, uh, glorifying the Lord by sitting next to the Lord, um, singing for the Lord while the Lord is taking rest. So, in this way, this Brahmana, he started serving the Lord in the mind. And then he continued the service to the Lord in the mind for years and years and years and years. And Padma Puran says that when one renders service to the Lord in the mind, that service is perfectly accepted by the Lord because the Lord is transcendental. We don't only have to physically feed Krishna, we can feed him in the mind and the Lord will be satisfied. Um, there are many examples. There is one particular example. Um, Basically, the idea is any service rendered in the mind is equally accepted by the Lord as if the service is rendered physically. When you are whatever you offer here, when you go back to Vrindavan and when you are with Krishna in a perfected state, whatever service you offer to him there, we can offer that same service now here, and both are equally accepted by the Lord. There is one story which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited. Is one devotee Murari. He was so much in love with Lord Chaitanya that when he got like a big bowl of rice, and he was taking that rice and throwing and saying, Lord Chaitanya, please take this rice, and then take another. It was like a bag of rice he cooked, and then another bite. My Lord, take this rice. My Lord, take this. My Lord, eat this. My Lord, eat this. And he kept on feeding, 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 feeding. The Lord was not there. He was just in his mind. He was offering to Lord Chaitanya. Then um, later on, Lord Chaitanya became a little bit sick. Um, and then the Ved, he said that he has eaten too much rice. And that's why he has become sick. So devotees are surprised how, I mean, this is very early pastime of Lord Chaitanya. So that shows that the devotee out of love was offering, 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 and everything was accepted by the Lord. Then the another pastime that comes to my mind is of Raghunath Das Goswami also. So Raghunath Das Goswami was very austere. He would live on the bank of Radhakund, and he would drink a leaf cup, like a small leaf. He would rotate it, make it into a cup, and how much ever buttermilk would come in a leaf cup, buttermilk like matta, that what he would eat in the entire day. Wow. And then one time, Raghunath Das Goswami became sick. Um, then the Ved came. I mean, Das Goswami is like known for his renunciation, his sadhana, purity, like the leader in Vrindavan, in Govardhan area. So the Ved personally came because Das Goswami was sick. So then, after investigation, the Ved, Ayurved doctor, the Ved said, Goswamiji has eaten too much sweet rice, and that's why he has got this indigestion that is causing this bile and pain in the stomach. Um, and the devotee said, how is it possible? Goswamiji doesn't eat anything more than a buttermilk. Then Goswamiji did not say anything, but later on Goswamiji accepted, because in the mind, Raghunath Das Goswami was cooking sweet rice. Then uh, Srimati Radharani personally fed Raghunath Das Goswami sweet rice. So Raghunath Das Goswami ate lot of sweet rice because he was being fed with love, and whatever he ate in the mind has an effect on him physically. And Mahaprabhu also showed these are like the qualities of pure devotees and the qualities of the Lord. They become one at a very advanced stage. Uh, that's why we say Sakshat Haritvena, that the spiritual master has all the qualities of Lord Krishna. Uh, because, like Prabhupada gave an example, um, You take an iron rod and you put it into the fire, um, and for a long time. Then you take the iron rod outside. Then the end of the fire, end of the iron rod, which was in the fire, becomes red hot. So it is like as good as fire. So likewise, when a pure devotee become completely absorbed in Krishna, then he develops all the qualities of Krishna also. So we see how Raghunath Das Goswami, in the mind, whatever he did, he it was exhibiting in his physical body. And we see the Lord Chaitanya also, when something was offered, Lord Chaitanya at a distance place would accept everything. Uh, so any service which is offered by a devotee in the mind is accepted by the Lord just as is. So this Brahmana, for years he would do worship in his mind because he was poor Brahmana, doesn't have anything, cannot actually cook physically. It is said when we have the facility, then we should do the best we can. We should offer the best articles to the Lord when we have the facility. There is one description of this Brahmana when he went to the cow in his mind. Went to the cow, took the milk, put some wood, uh, uh, made a hole in the ground, put some wood, ignited it, took a pot, put the pot, um, put the milk that he just milked from mother cow, um, got some natural sugar from the ground, um, got it uh, from the cane, mixed it, um, uh, went to the paddy field, removed the husk, took the rice, washed it in the river, mixed it, added some camphor, added some cardamom, making the preparation for an hour. He was meditating on like stirring the sweet rice preparation, and everything is going on in the mind. Um, and I think it was coming up or something. Um, um, so he kind of put his finger to put it down so it doesn't overflow. Um, I think the flame was too high or something. And then his hand got burned, and he's like, it pained him. Um, and at that point of time, his eyes opened, and his hands was red. So that shows how what was going on in the mind has an effect on his physical self. So that time in Vaikuntha, Narayan started to laugh. Then, I mean, the Lord was in his meditation, and suddenly he started laughing. Then Lakshmi Devi was next to Lord. So Lakshmi Devi asked the Lord, "My dear Lord, why suddenly you laughed?" Then the Lord said, "I will explain everything to you." And in the meantime, when he was shocked, um, and the plane came from Vaikuntha and took this Brahmana and took him back to Vaikuntha. He attained perfection, took him back to Vaikuntha. Um, and he reached Lord Vishnu. Then Lord Vishnu described the activity of this Brahmana and why he laughed to Lakshmi Devi. Um, uh, so there is this one pastime is there meditation. Then there is this another pastime. Um, this is another pastime of this comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that there was one devotee. His name was Narsimhananda. He was a brahmachari. His name was Narsimhananda Brahmachari. Um, so um, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, like, every year, the like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri, um, and the Lord associates were living in Navadvip. So every year for 4 months, all the devotees would go to meet Lord Chaitanya uh, in Jagannath Puri. So and then after 4 months, Lord would bid farewell to all the devotees to go back to Navadvip. So when all the devotees were leaving, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told all the devotees that next year don't come here, because next year I am planning to come to Bengal to meet all of you. I'll be there. So all the devotees said, okay. So then the next year came. Chaturmas started. The devotees are waiting, 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 waiting. I mean, there is no phone calls naturally. There is no signals, and they were just waiting, hoping the Lord would arrive. And then 3 months passed, three and a half. Chaturmas is only 4 months. The time is passing by, and they were in deep separation, longing, hankering. These are positive separation, hankering, longing. That when the Lord will come, when the Lord will come. And then some of the associate like Shivananda Sen and others, they all were in great distress. So they went to this brahmachari. His name was Nasimananda Brahmachari, and they were expressing their anxiety, that maybe we will not see the Lord this year. The Lord is not coming. Then Nasimananda Brahmachari said, "Don't worry about it. I promise you that I will bring the Lord here in 3 days." Then the devotees were surprised. So Nasimananda Brahmachari, he sat like you see in the picture in the bottom. He sat with his eyes closed, and he started inviting the Lord and bringing the Lord personally. He started bringing the Lord um, to Navadvip, and then after one day, then um, um, Nasimananda Brahmachari told the devotees that the Lord is on his way. After second day, then he said the Lord is very near. Then in the third day morning, he told the devotees that make huge feast, and the Lord will be here in few hours. So the the huge devotees made the huge feast, and there was like if you see in the picture, there is Jagannath Baldev in the altar. There is Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. There is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's deity, and there is Nrsimhadev deity. These were the three um, deities in the altar. In I think it was in the house of Shivananda Sen. So um, devotees made a huge offering, and they started offering, and the offering was made to in three plates to all the deities. One plate to Jagannath, one plate to Nrsimhadev, one plate to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deity. And Nrsimhananda Brahmachari was in his mind. And then um, Nrsimhananda Brahmachari saw in his mind that the Lord finally arrived. Lord went to the deity room, and Lord ate the prasad personally, which was in front of his deity form. Like there is Mahaprabhu deity na. So the plate in front of deity, Lord personally came and ate the food. Then the Lord went and started eating from the plate of Nrsimhadev also. Nrsimhadev has his own plate. So you see here the plate is kept in front of Nrsimhadev, and this is in meditation. Nrsimhadev the brahmachari is sitting somewhere else, and he saw Mahaprabhu is into the altar, went to the plate of Lord Nrsimhadev and started eating. So Nrsimhananda Brahmachari, he said, "My Lord, why you ate your plate? Why are you eating the food of Lord Nrsimhadev? Lord Nrsimhadev will be hungry now." So in this way, then Mahaprabhu ate that food and left. Um, um, then nobody saw the Lord. Nobody saw. Um, Nrsimhana Brahmachari went out and he said, "The Lord came. Lord accepted the offering that you made, and Lord ate the offering of Nrsimhadev also, and the Lord left, and he's back. He's going back to Puri now." So the devotees were like, he's just telling, and devotees don't see anything. So devotees were thinking, we don't know if actually the Lord came. I mean, the plate is empty, but we don't actually know what happened. We didn't see anybody. Maybe the Lord came, maybe the Lord didn't come. Anyway, so the time passed by. Next year came. Then all the devotees this year, because the Lord said, "Don't come next year." So next year, all the devotees went to uh, Puri. Very ecstatic pastime, chanting, dancing, feasting in the association of Lord Chaitanya and Jagannath Puri. Then 4 months passed again. Then all the devotees were, Mahaprabhu was bidding farewell. All the devotees were going back to Puri. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bidding farewell, and he started glorifying all the devotees. And then Mahaprabhu told about Nasimananda Brahmachari. Mahaprabhu told this Nasimananda, because of him, I came last year. And then I ate the food that was cooked by all of you. This is the power of Nasimananda's meditation. He forced me to come, invited me. And then Nasimananda Brahmachari was smiling, and all the devotees were surprised. And then they realized that actually what Nasimananda Brahmachari told us last year, that he brought Lord here, and the Lord ate, and actually Lord came and Lord ate and Lord left. So that was the power of the meditation of Nasimananda Brahmachari. Srila Prabhupada also says that it is unless we are pure in activities, one cannot be pure in mind unless one is pure in activities. See, the thing is, the mind is by default in this age of Kali, the mind is disturbed. When the mind is disturbed, when we start to chant, we cannot even hear the name. Only someday we can hear the name and we feel like, glorious day, glorious chanting. Today we can hear the name. So when the mind is so disturbed and so fickle, how can we meditate actually? But what happens when our activities become pure, our life become pure, and gradually by the process of devotional service, when our mind becomes pure, then it is possible to do meditation. Um, um, that's why meditation actually comes in advanced stage of devotional service. In the beginning, if we try tomorrow, so many things will come actually in the mind. But Nasimananda Brahmachari was so pure, his mind was so pure that he could sit for hours and he could make the Lord do what he liked. Um, so these are some, and there are many more examples. There is another example of Nasimananda Brahmachari only. His meditation was so strong. Some of the devotees may have heard this story. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came he was going through Bengal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Bengal, then he went to Ramkeli. That's where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first met Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. And from there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started going to Vrindavan. And Narasimhananda Brahmachari, he would sit wherever he was, he would sit and he would meditate as the Lord was walking. Narasimhananda Brahmachari would meditate on building a road, which is filled with flowers and soft sand. Um, um, uh, on the bank, on the side, he would have some waterfalls, some garden, some fragrant flowers, some trees. Um, um, in this way, beautiful scenery, and beautiful smooth road full of flower petals on the way, um, um, cool breeze. So in this way, Nasimananda Brahmachari in his mind would meditate that Lord is walking on that. He would build the road and he would meditate Lord is walking, walking, walking. Then Nasimananda Brahmachari, he can sit for hours and focus on that, on creating comfort for Lord Chaitanya. Um, Then in his mind, he built the road till Narasimhana Brahmachari built the road till Kanai Natshala. It's one of the place in Bengal, Kanai Natshala. And then when Narasimhananda Brahmachari was trying to build the road further, in his mind, he could not build the road any further. See the purity of Narasimhanda Brahmachari's mind. He could not build the road further. Narasimhanta Brahmachari, after trying, he cannot focus on building the road further. He concluded and he told the devotees, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not go to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not go beyond Kanai Natshala. From Kanai Natshala, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take a U-turn and come back and go back to Puri. He will not go to Vrindavan. So devotees were like surprised. But they know the power of Narasimhanta Brahmachari. So then the Lord actually went to Kanai Natshala. And then Lord took a U-turn, and then Lord came back actually and went back to Puri. Then in the next trip, again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. So that shows when Narasimhanta Brahmachari could not focus because the mind of Narasimhanta Brahmachari was so pure. If he could not focus, means he know that this is Lord's arrangement. Otherwise, his mind was amazingly pure actually. He could meditate. So that's why it is said in the beginning stages, our hope is sadhana. We chant, we serve, we try to please Vaishnavas, we read, we hear, and we try our best to engage the mind in this. Um, and then the restless mind can be tamed when it is forced to focus on the Lord. It will go away, bring it back, go away, bring it back. It's a practice. It's a practice in devotional service. It's even a practice in the yoga system. In yoga system also, when the mind goes away, the mind is brought back, brought back, brought back. And same with devotional service also. And with that, little Krishna, whatever we are forcing the mind to focus, the mind becomes gradually purified. Then the mind can think of Krishna initially for a moment, then for a few seconds, then for a few minutes, then for a few hours, then for a few days, and it's like it goes like this. The more the mind becomes pure, the more it is focused to meditate. Now this is Arjuna's lamentation. Now I am attracted to those instructions imparted to me by the personality of Godhead Govinda, because they are impregnated with instructions for relieving the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. Here we see that Arjuna was remembering the instructions of the Lord. Whether we remember a verse from Gita, we remember from Bhagavatam, we remember a pastime of a devotee, instruction, Lord, anything about the Lord, his form, his qualities, his pastimes, his name, everything is transcendental. Um, and that remembrance brings divinity in our consciousness. Um, and when the divinity comes, then whatever anxiety for Arjuna here is burning heart, um, whatever pain, suffering one is going through, by remembering when the Lord enters the heart, then all those negativity they just fly off. Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna rapidly increased his devotion, and as a result, all the trash of his thoughts subsided. So that's this. This also shows another verse that shows the power of meditation. Um, as Arjuna was remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, he was remembering lotus feet, focusing on lotus feet. And slowly, by that remembrance, the devotion increased. And as his mind becomes absorbed in pure devotion, completely focused on the lotus feet of the Lord, all the thoughts and that all the thoughts which are compared to trash, all these negative thoughts, lamentation, why all everything gone, because the heart was filled with devotion, lotus feet of the Lord. This is another verse. Actually, this is one of the very famous verses. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yatsmaret pundari kaksham Sabhaya Abhayantara Suchi. So that is another verse that shows the effect of meditation. Ya smaret apavitro apavitra pavitrova. Whether you are purified, pavitro apavitra. Whether you are impure, whether you are impure, whether we are pure. In whatever situation you may be, sarvavastham. uh, any condition. Avastha means किस अवस्था में हो, whatever सर्व अवस्थम गटोपिवा, in any condition of material life. Yet smaret pundarikaksham. If you remember smaret pundarikaksham, pundarikaksham is referring to Krishna, another name of Krishna. Lotus eyes. Pundarikaksha means um, one whose eyes are like lotus. If you remember lotus eyed Krishna, sa bhaya abhayantaraha suchihi. Bhaya means outside. Antara. Antara means from inside. From outside and inside. Suchihi. Suchihi means clean. So the idea is whether one is pure and impure, or in any condition of life, in any avastha, in any condition of life in this material life, whenever we remember the lotus side, whenever we remember Krishna, the lotus-eyed Krishna, one becomes externally and internally clean. Uh, 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 I remember one time, I'll give you one instance of this. Uh, Basically, the power of remembrance of Krishna, the moment we remember Krishna, we become purified. I'll tell you two personal instances. One instance, it was, I think, it was either Nitya Trayodasi or God Purnima, one of the festival. And we had a very wonderful dance in Farmington Temple. Everybody was dancing. My seva was, it was God Aarti, and we were like jumping and dancing, revolving. Everybody was sweating. I was also sweating. It was too ecstatic. And then um, I had to go inside the altar to do abhishek and take the Lord inside the altar. Our Nitapat Pavan Gaurahari. So, but because scripture says that if one is sweating, then one should not go to the altar and serve the deity. It becomes seva aparadh. Then I asked Yugal Kishore Prabhuji that Prabhuji, after dancing, I'm sweating. Should I go and take bath and wear fresh clothes and then come back and resume my seva to Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu? Then Prabhuji said, no, no, don't worry. Just say Om Apavitro, that verse. So I said, Om Apavitra Pavitra. Basically, it means whether you are pure or impure in any condition, if you just remember the lotus eyes Krishna, you become internally and externally pure. There is another personal instance where, this is like I was like new in Bhakti. Um, I mean, relatively at that time. And We were in Chicago. Um, um, and we went to a trip to Chicago. And we were like six devotees, and we took a hotel room there. So we all decided that we all will go to Mangal Arati tomorrow in Kishore Kishori Temple in Chicago. So and it was like already like by the time we reached, it was like midnight or 1 a.m. and Mangal Arati is I think 4:30 a.m. there. So then some of them said, maybe difficult, we'll go later. Then we decided, whoever gets up can go. Um, I decided that I will go for Mangal Arati. So I got up and it was like 4:20. We were just 5 minutes away from temple. It was 4:20 a.m. and I really wanted to do Mangal Arati. So I asked the devotee because I didn't know how to drive that time. So I asked the devotee who was driving. I said, Prabhu, Prabhu, everybody was sleeping. I said, Prabhu, uh, it's 4:20. What do we do? I want to go for Mangal Arati. Then he said, yeah, yeah, let's go, let's go. मैंने कहा, "Prabhu, I haven't taken bath, nothing is done here. But we don't want to miss the Samsara Dhamma prayers, the Mangal Arati. Then he said, don't worry, Prabhu, don't worry. And then he recited this verse, Om Apavitra Pavitra Va Sarvavastam Gatopi Va Yes Marit Pandari Kaksha Sabhaya Bhayatara Suchi. Just remember Krishna, you become externally and internally pure, and then you can go to temple. Of course, we don't exploit this verse, but that shows that just the power of remembrance of Krishna, just remembering Krishna, everything become purified, no matter what situation we are in. And even if you have attended any initiation ceremonies, if you notice, every spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and I personally noticed my spiritual master, whatever initiation ceremony I have attended, any initiation ceremony, when Maharaj sits for giving a lecture, or when he Maharaj says, now we will begin our initiation ceremony. And then Maharaj folds his hand, and the first thing he says is Om Apavitra Pavitra Va Sarvavast. So this verse is so much like every devotee kind of remembers this verse in their heart and mind, and anything. This verse comes, just remember Krishna, everything is pure. Just remember Krishna, and we are internally, externally purified. And we don't, of course, we follow the rules and regulations properly uh, in Pujari Seva and whichever situation we are in. But the verse is there. The power of remembrance of Krishna is like we are internally purified and we are externally purified. Suchihi. Okay. Um, so that was some discussion on meditation. We will
Hare
see if
Krishna
they.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Gagan Prabhu, Dhanwad pronounced. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, so on this verse, I had like small questions. Like, is it like remembering this verse purifies somebody, or remembering, like, if we just remember Krishna without knowing the verse, like without, like, if we
Ah,
don't remember the verse, but if we remember Krishna with our like full heart, then
ah,
like
ah.
does it like work equally, or like we need to learn this verse like in some, like in extreme cases, not like for as an excuse, but like
Yeah. In such cases, I think we can remember Krishna. Basically, what verse says is if we remember lotus-eyed Krishna, we are internally and externally purified. But what I have seen is that we all remember the verse. It takes to remember the verse now. One time I took a Karthik. I wanted to remember some verses. Telling you a technique if you want to remember some verses. Then my Karthik Vrata that year, 1 year was whatever verses I wanted to remember. I wrote in my phone in a notepad, some writing pad in the phone. I noted all the verses, and my Kartik Vrata was every day I will read these verses, and then I did that for 31 days, whatever Kartik month was. And by the end of Kartik, now I remember the verses. So all we have to do to remember the verses, and every time I read Bhagavad Gita, I used to do this earlier. Gita Jayanti, I would try to read all the verses and then say 10 verses I really liked, or 5 I really liked, or I found one verse from Bhagavatam I loved, or something I liked. Then those verses I will write on the notepad and then read it every day for 25 30 days. Just read it. No need to remember it. Just read it. After 30 days, you will remember them. So it's a good habit to remember certain verses which are of key importance. So, all right, Gagan
thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's like a nice strategy.
Prabhu.
So thank you
क्या
so
करें
much.
प्रभु जी? मंद बुद्धि होता है ना जब when the mind is too dull, then all these things helps. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? It's 8:55. I don't think we'll start something new, but any discussion we can take now. So if you allow, we will end here. Thanks all for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhu vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnav. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Thank you for joining. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Don't know, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.